Brett Clausen,
Jamie Stark. Today we are bringing to you top 3 reasons
that you are not getting huge.
Reason number 1.
You eat like shit.
So when we talk to people all the time in Rex's Nutrition who are having trouble gaining muscle, 99% of the time when we actually get into talking to them, they're just flat out not eating enough. And you know, everybody thinks about protein as the muscle building nutrient, but in all reality, carbohydrates are the muscle, the motor behind building muscle. They're what fuel your glycogen storages, and glycogen is the energy that fuels the process of rebuilding muscle tissue. So carbohydrates are super important. You know, you have a limit to how much protein your body needs. You have a limit to how many fats, and carbohydrates are really the variable one.
I would say personally, probably try to stay away from processed carbohydrates, but otherwise just find the carbohydrate that you like, that fits with your body the best, and that's going to vary from person to person. The other thing I would say is plan ahead. Whether that's getting a rice cooker and cooking up your rice, and like Jamie was doing in this video, or cooking your sweet potatoes beforehand. There's some good options to do it like that. And the last tip I would have is just track how many carbohydrates you're actually eating throughout the day. Again, you're probably guessing wrong, at least I know I personally was. Again, I talked about it in a previous video, but I was thinking I was probably getting around 400 carbohydrates per day. I was probably only getting around 250 carbohydrates per day. So again, if you want to download MyFitnessPal, it's a free app. Just actually track for an entire week what you're currently getting for carbohydrates. You'll probably shock yourself, especially if you're eating clean, how little carbohydrates you are actually eating per day.
For sure, and everybody, is always concerned with adding fat. But, unless you've got some freakish genetics, when you're building muscle, you're going to add fat. Mm-hmm. So don't be afraid of it. Just try to manage and try not to add fat too quickly.
Absolutely. And remember this, you're probably going to have to trade in your 6-pack for a 4-pack in order to build some muscle. All right, reason number 2.
Lack of training intensity.
Alright guys, especially if we're looking to improve the physique, remember we're not powerlifters, we're looking to be bodybuilders, we're looking for muscle hypertrophy, and again, that's usually in the 8 to 12 rep range. If you're going too heavy, if you're only doing like 1 to 2 reps, you're really not going to get any blood into that muscle to tear down the tissue. So ideally, and then again, going too light, that's really not going to be enough weight, in my opinion, to force blood into the muscle tissue to really force those muscles to tear. So there's a fine line there in about the 8 to 12 rep range. But again, you remember, you have to bring intensity to it. It's hard as a trainer, even watching somebody, to really tell what they're feeling. They really have to, bring that intensity to their workout themselves.
Exactly. And so, yeah, we always shoot for the 8 to 12 rep range. So find the correct weight that's going to get you to failure during that time. And I'll leave you guys with this, is most people don't go to failure because it's too painful. So push through the pain and you're in good shape, guys.
Absolutely.
Reason number 3.
No mind to muscle connection. All right, we're going to talk about mind to muscle connection. So again, if you're doing, chest and you sit down in the bench press, you really got to focus on working your pecs and not your front delts, your shoulders, your triceps. You got to go through the motions, but actually feel the muscle that you're working on, and forcing blood into the correct muscle instead of working so much and going too heavy or too light, honestly, on bench press and working on, your shoulders and your triceps. And again, you're working on chest for most people when they're doing bench, so you got to really focus on the correct muscle.
Exactly. If you have ever watched a workout video of Arnold Schwarzenegger or him talking about lifting, you're going to have heard the words mind to muscle connection, and what that means is you are literally inside your muscle. You can feel it. And at the top of your movement, at whatever the apex is of that movement, you're going to give that, whatever target muscle that you're trying to go to, you're going to give a big squeeze. And that's going to feel kind of painful. It's a little bit of a pinch, but, you know, once you train yourself, it's going to feel pretty dang good, actually.
Right, and it's also concentrating on the negative on the way down, too. I think a lot of people forget about the negative part of the movement, and that's another thing you really got to concentrate, because, again, that's still causing blood into the muscle on the way down as well, so it's still causing the pump, as well as Arnold says. You know, the pump is what causes muscle growth or muscle tear down, and then you can feed your body to get muscle growth.
For sure. Mind to muscle connection, guys. It'll put you over the top. Trust us.
Bonus tip! It's because you don't grunt enough.